What is up, everybody? Welcome to today's show. Waiting on Pastor Brian Hall. Deliver us an amazing message. Inspire us, edify us, help us to grow. Call your friends. Tell them that we are coming in. Hey, Nick, post your questions. Post your questions. Since this isn't actually a Q&A. Actually, it can be a Q&A. You guys can ask questions. What's up, Siobhan? What's up? Oh, you bumped
What's
me
up?
right off the thing. Okay. What's up, Brian Hall?
What's up, brother? Good morning. Good morning, family. How are you doing today, buddy? You got a
How are you?
cold?
Do I have a cold?
Hmm.
No,
You under the weather?
no.
Well,
I've
you
never
look
had a
good. You look good. You're just a little raspy today, man.
Well, I was having some problems with my headphones, so I have to use Lacey's headphone. Maybe it's her
Uh,
headphone. I don't know.
yeah.
How are you doing today? You doing better this week?
Oh man, joy comes in the morning, brother. I'm feeling great. This is a good week. Busy this week, but it's good, man. God is good. He's good all the time.
Nice. You look like you're still shriveling away. What are you still on
I
day
am.
fifth?
I know, yeah, man. I'm still shriveling away. Everyone, my wife's like, you gotta start, you gotta get off the intermittent fasting or the keto. So I still do it. I'm so used to it, man. Like people say it's hard, but it's just always been easy for me. It's just like so I'm 8 months into keto and intermittent fasting, and I love meat. So it doesn't bother me. I love veggies. I love meat, so I just have constantly eating. I think my thing is I only eat from like 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock, and so I think I need to just start eating my breakfast again, and maybe that'll do it. But I know I'm down to 169, bro. I was
Ooh,
at 220. I was at 225.
no kidding.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. Congratulations on that. That's awesome. That's
But I
super awesome.
but I feel good. You know what I'm saying? I feel great. Like my bones don't hurt, my back don't hurt. I go to Dr. Eric Sims for my chiropractic. I go there once, twice a week. He takes care of me and gets me all lined up in an alignment, and feeling good. And he's got me, dude. I take every test you can take, blood test. He has me taking a test where you you pee in a cup, crap in a box, take a hair strand, blood test, and man, he checks everything on me just to make sure I'm nice and healthy and fit.
I love this. I got to, because I got to, we got to answer to the people. First of all, Vanessa, I didn't even know there was Sean on demand 24/7. I want that. What you got? Vanessa's
Yeah.
got Sean on demand 24/7. That's awesome. I'm even glad that exists. I got Nick Glazer asking a question because it's a Q&A type of day. Um, what was your most valuable lesson this week, Brian? What was your most valuable lesson?
My most valuable lesson was I think, ask. Ask for help, ask for what you need. I think, even when you have mentors or people in your life, ask. Just ask. Don't just sit there in silence. Don't just, if you need something, ask. I mean, what's the worst that could happen, right? No, but then it could be
Wow.
yes.
Wow. Hey, Nick Glazer, this is a message. Wow, because that was going to be my answer too. You know that not yesterday, but a week ago yesterday, we dropped our Black Diamond Club podcast that was titled How to Ask for Anything. I think timing is
Wow.
critical, right? So not last Wednesday, not yesterday, 1 week ago. Yesterday was how to never give up, right? But
Mm,
that might be the lesson for this week. Last week I agree. How to ask for anything. I think that so many times people just don't ask. We don't ask, and we need to understand a couple of things. That's why we did it in a podcast. How to ask for anything. There is a
hmm.
degree of situational awareness, like you said, coaching,
Yeah.
mentors, friends,
Hmm.
family. We've got to figure out, right, like kind of where we are, situational awareness. We've got to be really clear on what we are asking for. So we kind of have to ask ourselves, like, is this an appropriate ask? Like, hey,
Yep.
Brian, can I have your car? So I'd have
Yeah.
to say, like, hey, I've got to understand where's my relationship with Brian. Now, if I
Hmm.
really needed, like, if I was in a situation and there was a compelling reason why I needed your car, I can't just like I just need a car, but like I need your car. Can I have your car? And then I have to be really clear, and I'd also have to be really clear on being able to communicate to you why that would be
Yeah.
important to me. And then I'd also have to be really clear on what's in it for you, right? Because
Hmm.
there's givers and there's takers in the world, and maybe, and it could just be like I what's in it for you is that you're fortifying our relationship, our friendship. I'm just in a situation right now. I can't do anything for you. I can't. There's. I
Hmm.
just. Can you help me?
Right.
And we've got to be really clear then on being able to articulate that ask. That was my biggest lesson for the week as well. And
Yeah.
then I think the other one was, let me get back here and see what that one. What advice do you have for a 20-year-old, Brian? What advice do you have for a 20-year-old?
Wow. Ask. Yeah, I think it comes back to ask. I think, when you're 20, it's like I learned something really cool in my younger age. I'm 42 now, and I think in my 20s and 30s I was learning how to, and I learned this from a very big name mentor of mine, and it was reciprocate. And I think, that's the big thing is, when you need to learn how to reciprocate because you have time, talent, and treasure. You may sit there and you may think I'm 20 years old or 30 years old or 40 years old and I don't have anything to give, but you always have something to give, whether it be your time, talent, or treasure. How can you reciprocate? And so if I'm asking you to do something for me, before I even ask the question, I'm already thinking, how can I reciprocate back? Maybe I don't have money. Well, how can I reciprocate my time? How can I reciprocate my talent? And I think that's what it all comes down to is how can you reciprocate. It's just like you and me, Sean. We connect back and forth, we help each other out back and forth, we reciprocate, we go back. And I think that's what I've learned from my mentors is, hey, I want you to be my mentor. Okay, well, that's great. Well, how are you going to reciprocate? If you can't pay me, then what's your time look like? What does your talents look like? What are these things that look like? So I think even when you're making the big ask, even for a 20-year-old, step out of the boat, step in faith, make the big ask for people, from people. And I think you'll be surprised that a lot of people will say yes. A lot of people want to help. And, me as a mentor, I'm also a mentee. And so to other mentors. And so I think a kind of a second thing is like if you're wanting to ask someone, even ask someone, we'll say, because a lot of people need mentors. I mean, that's huge. You just you need the right people in your life. And so I think find a mentor, but then also because if you want this blessing, the biblical spiritual blessing of it is go mentor someone else. So if you're 20 and you want a mentor that's 40 or 50 or 60, turn around and why don't you mentor someone that's 18, 17, 16, 15 and sow into their life. And it's just this reciprocation blessing that's going to flow in your life.
I love it. And hey, I just want to make sure that we have a lot of questions coming in for whatever reason. It's question day on this live. What is
Yeah.
the best way to navigate rough times, rough waters?
Yeah. It's hard. I think, best way I mean, like for me, I'll be leaving in tomorrow. And so I'll be gone for a few days. And I think, taking time for yourself, sabbaticals. So even when I was in the church world, man, I would leave like every 3 months and go on a sabbatical, and just have time to myself and have time with the Lord. Rough times it takes a lot, and I think you have to first and foremost, we've talked about this before, Sean, is you have to also remember that the enemy is necessary. And I talk about that all the time. And, going through rough times, if you can look at it from a different lens and say, wow, why am I getting hit here? Why am I going through battles? Well, we could just look at the stories in the Bible and see, like I've told you before, Sean, and the viewers is, Jesus, he's in the wilderness getting ready to die, be crucified. He already knows he's going to die. He already knows this time is coming. Peter walks up to him, his right hand man, his homeboy, walks up to him and is like, Jesus, we got to get you out of here. Like, you got to go, bro. Like, they're going to kill you. The Roman soldiers are en route. And Jesus looks at him and says, Get behind me, Satan. And then walks up, and Judas walks up with the Roman soldiers, and the high priest throws the treasure at his feet, and Judas picks it up, and Jesus walks up to Judas, kisses him on the cheek, and calls him friend. So the picture of that is Peter was trying to pull Jesus out of his destiny, and Judas was taking Jesus into his destiny to fulfill this God-given purpose to save all of us and all of our lives. So the enemy is necessary. And so I think when you're going through rough times, tough times, number one, remember that the enemy is necessary to elevate you into your destiny, into your God calling. Number two is get away, have sabbaticals, get away from the fast-paced world. You have to have those moments where you take your sabbatical, you get away, and you get in your prayer time, and you get in your walk with the Lord.
That's good. This might be a new format. I'm liking this. Thank you for the
Mhm.
questions today.
Yeah.
This is awesome. I would say as well for tough times, from my perspectives, tough times never last. Tough people do. You've got to just understand that, it's just a matter of time. Learn lessons fast.
Mhm.
In a non Brian Hall kind of way. I mean, we always say suck faster.
Yeah.
We're gonna be bad at things.
Yeah.
We have to learn lessons, learn them fast. I mean, sometimes
Yeah.
it's just our own ego that's in the way. It's just that we don't want to learn these lessons. We keep falling back into old ways. We keep falling back into old people. We keep
Mhm.
doing, and then the lessons repeat themselves.
Yeah.
And we're looking at it from the outside in, saying, "Wow, this is difficult. This is tough."
Yeah.
Um, you know, learn your lessons, learn them fast, or expect them to repeat. All right, I
Yeah.
want to make sure a couple of things. First of all, you have an exciting opportunity for the viewers coming up. You're having a master class. Tell us a little bit about
Mhm.
the master class. How can
Yeah.
people jump in on that?
Yeah, it's this is so exciting. So I'm gonna start doing just free master classes. So every month I'm just gonna do master classes, and this specific master class that I'm gonna be throwing is don't quit. Because I think, from working with clients all day and being around just in general, just people all the time, and so, you are too, Sean, is I think I'm seeing a lot of people quit, and they and I think this is a beautiful way to kind of go into this. What we were just talking about is this masterclass, this message is we're going to talk about why you shouldn't quit, why you should stay in the game just a little bit longer, and we're going to talk about the biblical side of it, the spiritual side of it, biblical figures of guys and women that were going to quit, but they didn't quit, they stayed in just a little bit longer. I've found, Sean, that if you stay in just a little bit longer, the breakthrough is normally right on the other side. And it's crazy to me because a lot of people are like they're this close and they're just like I can't do it. I can't stay in it any longer. I got to get out. I got to get out. And God's saying just a little bit longer, and the breakthroughs on the other side. And so I'm excited about that. So this master class of don't quit, I think it's going to pump people up, encourage people to go to the next level. But then also the roundtable is blowing up right now. There's still a waiting list. We're going to be launching it next week. This is going to be super exciting because it's all the people that have wanted to work with me and do one-on-one coaching, but just for other, some reasons, sometimes financial reasons, they couldn't jump in and do the one-on-one. So I've created this roundtable where Sean, everybody can do it. Like anybody can get into this. And we're going to be doing lives. We're going to be doing Zoom calls. This is like my baby, bro. I'm constantly making videos and giving wisdom and doing teachings through this roundtable where people will be able to go in weekly and just watch stuff, look at stuff. And then what we'll be doing is a Zoom call for people to get on and actually we're going to dive in deep. We're going to do some serious coaching, some serious mentoring. They're going to have access. I mean, you should see all the celebrities and influencers that have signed up for the roundtable that are going to be in this group to give their wisdom. I'm going to be interviewing them. They're going to be able to help people with the faith, family, business, life, and it's going to be really cool. So the roundtable, the master classes. People just need to get in. Let's grow. This is a year of growth. This is a year of breakthrough. And so do whatever it takes to get in the room. I mean, Sean, this is one thing that you've always taught me. Get in the room and then make ask. So these are like two big things, making ask and getting in the rooms. Because if you want to elevate and you want to go to the next level, you got to remember everything about the Bible, everything that I teach, you teach, Sean. It's all about community. God uses people. God uses a who to accomplish a what. We talked about this weeks ago. And so it's like you're not going to know who your who's are if you don't get in the room with a bunch of who's to figure that out. And so yeah, man.
Love it. All right. What are we talking about today? We're talking about Proverbs and the
Yes,
four,
yes. The four keys to wisdom. The
four
four
keys to
keys
wisdom.
to
Okay.
the four
Four
keys
keys to
to
wisdom.
wisdom. And so I'm gonna read this out of the word today. This is unbelievable. The book of Proverbs, listen, people, like if you want to like grow and elevate, just open up the book of Proverbs, open up the book of Ecclesiastes. There's so much wisdom from Solomon in these words. Obviously, the wisest man that ever lived. They actually said, this is crazy, that Solomon was so wealthy and so wise that the temple he built in our terms today financially would have been trillions of dollars, just the temple, trillions of dollars. Okay, this is how rich he was. And then this isn't even the palace that where he lived in. So they say the scholars believe that the palace that Solomon lived in was more expensive to build than even the temple. And so we're talking trillions of dollars. Like kings and queens and people would come to Solomon for wisdom. So I'm about to give you some wisdom from Proverbs. This is the man, King Solomon himself, and he's so wise and so smart as he's like, I'm going to tell you about four creatures. And if you will listen to these four creatures, you will have wisdom. And so,
I knew
what
it
do you
was
got,
just
Chuck?
four. Well, I was trying to remember four creatures. I
Yeah.
was four creatures. All right, four creatures. Let's do
Hey,
it.
well, and the funny thing is watch out because next week I'm going to talk about three beasts and a king, and so Solomon and Proverbs too. But today we're going to talk about four creatures, and
Four
so the
creatures.
Bible says there are four things which are little on the earth, but they are exceedingly wise. The ants are a people not strong, yet they prepare their food in the summer. The coney, which is a rock badger, are a feeble folk, yet they make their homes in the rocks. The locusts have no king, yet they all advance in ranks. The spider skillfully grasped with its hands, and it is in the king's palace. All right. So when you would just read that, you'd be like, "What the crap is that talking about?" But then you have people like me that will dive deep into this and really grab into what is King Solomon, what is Proverbs saying here, and so the message of the spider. We're going to start with the spider. We're going to go backwards, and so the message of the spider, it speaks of determination. Okay, so it takes holds with its hands. She cannot be moved and she will not quit and will not let go. She has made up her mind she is going to live in the king's palace. And so what caught the king's attention was that you can go outside. Like how many on here know this? You go out late at night and you smack your face into a spider web and you wipe that, yeah, exactly, you wipe that sucker down, you go back in, and then you come out in the morning and you're like, what the crap, the spider web is 50 times bigger than it was when I knocked it down last night. And so what Solomon's teaching here is that he wants us to, this is the message of the spider, he wants us to, he's speaking of this determination in our life because we are living in a day of quitting, right? And a lack of determination. And we need the spirit of the spider. I'm going to live in the king's palace. I will not be moved. You can sweep me away, but I will build again. And so maybe the enemy has been sweeping some things away in your lives today. Maybe, you're like, it's time to quit. It's time to get out. And I would say it's time to rebuild. I would say it's time to continue to press on. And, I look at this as an entrepreneur, and, we face these obstacles. We face the rejections that test our resolve. And I want to say, let's be like what Solomon's saying and what Proverbs is saying here is let's be like a spider. That tirelessly rebuilds this web. Let's have this determination in our life that we will not quit. You can knock us down, you can tear us down, people can come against you, but I am going to rebuild my web and I'm not going to quit.
Be like the
The
spider.
determination. Be like the spider, baby. All right, the message of the coney. Now, if you're from the South, this is not a cheese coney. This is not Skyline, the famous cheese conies. Now, look at you. Probably didn't even heard of it. Skyline, yeah, yeah. The
Skyline
Skyline
chili?
chili.
Skyline
You've
chili? I
heard
know
of Sky
Skyline chili.
cheese
Yeah.
conies, man. Cheese
I don't
conies.
know a cheese coney. What's a
Oh man,
Coney cheese coney?
C O. Yeah, yeah, it's coney. So
Okay.
see, so a dude, a cheese coney, man. That's how I swelled up to 225 pounds,
I
Sean.
know what Skyline chili is. I've seen it with my eyes. I've never put it in my mouth. I
Uh,
haven't eaten. I
yeah.
don't know what they serve there. I'm assuming chili.
So
It's called
it's
Skyline
a
chili.
so it's a bun with a hot dog on it, and then it has
Oh,
onions and chili, and then like literally, dude, like cheese that you couldn't even imagine. It's
okay.
I
That,
used to love it, but that's how I
that
gained weight.
sounds good.
But this is not a cheese coney, Sean. This is a
Okay.
rock badger, a coney, and so the coney,
Rock badger.
it's a mix of a field mouse and a rabbit, and so it makes its home in the rocks. He's very vulnerable. He's very timid because he's not a rattlesnake. He's not a porcupine. He has nothing to defend himself. So he looks for the rocks to hide in. And so he makes his home in the rock. And so the message of the coney is one of habitation. And so, Lord, when I feel weak, when I feel tempted, when I feel like those that are greater are coming against me, give me the sense of a coney to make my home in the rock. The rock will protect me. The rock will preserve me. The rock will, guide me, direct me. The rock is my fortress. The rock is my strong tower. The rock will hide me in the time of trouble. And God is the rock. And so the message of the coney, what Proverbs is teaching us here is go towards the rock, go hide in the rock when you feel like you are hitting, you're hitting a place where you're like stressing, anxiety, fear, depression, all these things. Go to the rock, because the rock is where we get filled up, and that's, spiritually speaking. As an entrepreneur, I would say, a habitation in our business is our model, is our culture, and even our operational type of base, Sean. And so it's about creating a stable and secure environment where our ventures can grow and thrive. And so the wisdom of the coney teaches us to seek out opportunities and environments where our weaknesses are protected, right? And so that's kind of the second side. That's kind of like you have the spiritual side, and then you have the entrepreneurial side. And it's protect our weakness but amplify our strengths,
Take
basically.
your vulnerabilities and encompass them in the rock. Take your
Yes.
own realize you're not the rattlesnake. You might not have the gifts of some of these other entrepreneurs, businesses you look out there, but that's okay because you can seek shelter in the rock. All right, so I got the
Yes. Look at you.
spider and
Look
I
at you
got the
preaching.
coney.
All right.
What
The
are we doing next?
message,
Locust?
the locust, the message of the locust. And so the
This is gonna be a hard one
locust,
because who likes locusts? Who wants to be like a
I
locust?
know, I know,
Locusts
man.
usually
I
are,
know.
that means a plague, right? The locusts come in bad times.
Yes, that's right. But here's the cool thing is exactly what you and me were talking about, Sean, in the beginning about community. So the locust teaches us about unification, unity. Okay. And
Swarm.
so, yes, yes. And so the locust, you don't have, you never see a solo flight locust. You
Mm.
just don't see it. That's like solo flight. So they have unity. And so the life lesson of the locust is, and even Solomon said, if you learn what I am telling you, you will be wise. So I would say, just like what we were talking about, stay connected to your family, stay connected to your friends, get in the right rooms, stay connected with your mentors, staff, employees, clients, whatever it is, you have to have community. You have to have unity. And so Satan's biggest strategy is to divide and conquer.
Mm.
And so if we stand together and we swarm like locusts, we will be unstoppable. We cannot fly solo in days like today. And so the locust gets the harvest. If one locust comes to a farm, the farmer has no problem killing the one locust. But if locusts travel in unity, the farmer can't stop them from eating his harvest. So
Mm.
when the locusts come together, they can take the harvest. There is a commanded blessing for unity. And so we should all be walking in unity. We should walk in tribes. And so unification, and obviously in for an entrepreneur is, you know, you can't, and Sean, you know this, none of us have done this alone. There's great teams that work with all of us. There's great teams that work with you. I have people working for me. I didn't build no websites and funnels and ads, and I don't do none of that stuff. I mean, these are great people that, and just like you, Sean, your podcast, your shows, your businesses, it's not, people think like it's us. We couldn't even do it ourselves. We have better people, smarter people, greater people all around us helping build what we're doing. And so I think get a part of community, because building a network of partners and mentors and teams that even share a common vision and goals is essential. So unification is in purpose and action enables us to achieve greater success than we could ever do by ourselves and by alone. The locust. All right, you ready for the next one? Nothing to
Yeah.
add? On.
Well,
All right.
well, yeah. I mean, you want to get in the right room and you want to get in the swarm. I got to tell you, the next time Brian and I are going to be in the same room, I believe, is March 15th and 16th in Dallas, Texas,
Yeah.
Black Diamond Club. We're doing sales revenue profit training for entrepreneurs. Um, and that's a great, I love that because I always tell my story about how when I first got involved with Book Yourself Solid, when I first started that journey, I didn't have the money. I didn't have the money
Mhm.
to be in the room. I just had to figure it out. Like I mean, literally had to take all the money that Lacey and I had just to get into the thing, just to get there. And then I didn't
Mhm.
stay at the hotel where they were holding the event. Man, I couldn't even afford that.
Mhm.
And at nighttime, everybody goes and eats, and at lunchtime, everybody eats together in group, right? The swarm. And I couldn't even afford that. I mean, I'm very open about it. I just would go down to the 7-Eleven and I would buy Lunchables. Those things still exist today, right? The little thing you peel off the top, you got like four crackers, got
Yeah.
some meat. I don't even know what kind of meat it is, and a couple slices of cheese. And that was my meal for like 3 days while
Yep.
I was doing this training, as I was becoming a part of that team. Now, listen, you
Yes.
fast forward January 2023, I was able to buy that entire organization, that company.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
acquired Book Yourself Solid because of getting in the right room. So listen,
Yep.
if you need help, if you're like, I can't, I mean, I don't control, and Brian, he doesn't control the airlines or the hotels. That's
Mhm.
someone else's business. But if you're like, I'm just trying to get in the room, let me get in the
Mhm.
room. You need some help getting in the room
Mhm.
at SRP. I want you to reach out to me.
Mhm.
And then I'm gonna help you to figure it out. Again, I don't have coupons for flights
Yeah.
or for hotels, but I mean on registration to be in that room, come and be a part of the locust because I like that. Hey,
Yeah.
if that entire
Yeah.
room decides that we're gonna take we're gonna take our destiny. I'm not talking about robbing somebody or taking what's theirs. We're just gonna take what's ours.
Mhm.
Then we can't be stopped. So this is your invitation to get in that room. You've got Brian in that room. He's over
Mhm.
there. If you're like, hey, I mean, and I would encourage you, if you're one of those ones that you're like, hey, Brian, I'm not staying in this hotel because I can't afford it. Can
Mhm.
you pray for me? Can you help me? Can you
Yeah.
find a way for me?
Mhm.
Brian is also there to support you as well. So yes,
Oh
I
yeah.
love the locust. I
I
love the
love, yeah,
locust.
and that's the thing is like anybody that watches this, get in the room, show up in Dallas. I'll be there. I can't wait to just see the family and I love everybody that's a part of the BDC team and the BYS team and I think we do whatever it takes. I mean, Sean, like what you said, I mean, I've slept in cars. I've slept at $29 hotels where I swore somebody was dead the night before in that room, you know, like I mean, I you do whatever it takes to get in the room because you don't know, like when you're in the room, like within 24 hours, 48 hours, your life could radically transform just because of someone that you're rubbing elbows with or someone you're talking to. And that's how my life is has elevated, Sean. That's how your life is. We were in the right rooms, and it's about community. It's about the locust. And so get to Dallas, people. All right, so the message of the ant, the last one. I love the ant. You know, the message of the ant speaks of preparation. And so an ant prepares its meat in the summer because it knows winter is coming. Now, I'm going to have a spiritual side to this, but I'm also going to have an entrepreneur side to this. And so the spiritual side of this is winter in the Bible, it always speaks of death. And so, so scripture says, be like an ant and prepare for eternity. And so he prepares for death. During the summer, you see thousands of ants preparing for winter. And so they know the sun is out and everything is happy, but they know the season is coming. So they gather all the food that they can. And so I'm saying for people today is prepare, prepare like this life that you live today, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 100, I don't know how, 110, 90 if you're lucky. That is a short period of time. And what the Bible is teaching here and what Proverbs is teaching here is prepare for eternity, prepare for the end, prepare, like get into your relationship with the Father, get into your prayer time, get into your study time, learn everything that you can for, be prepared for what's to come. And for me, I want my last days, I want to be here on earth. I want God to look at me and say, well done, my good and faithful servant. You worked so hard at helping people and trying to lead other people here so they could celebrate with us. But the thing is this 90, 100 years that you live here is eternity there. And so prepare your relationship with the Father while you're here. It's so important. And it means, because, as you know, Sean, we're here one day. In the matter of a second, we can be gone tomorrow. And so prepare for what really matters. Prepare for eternity. Prepare learning more about the Father. And that's kind of what I do. If you ever want to jump in and do the roundtable master classes one on one, reach out and I can help and I can teach you and we can learn more about the Father. But I think when it comes to the entrepreneur side, and I know Sean you'll be able to hit on this really well, is it teaches us about fold and being proactive. And ants store up their food in the summer anticipating the scarcity of winter. And so in business we have to plan for the future, anticipating challenges and opportunities. And this means investing in ourselves, right? Come to Dallas, investing in ourselves, investing in research, developing a robust even business plan for the things that you're doing, and being financially smart as well. And so the wisdom of an ant, it literally, Sean, it urges us to not only work hard but to work smart. um and so I know you got something to drop on the ant, being prepared, preparation.
Well, I didn't know that you were, I didn't know the reference to the winter being death. I mean, that's a revelation
Mhm.
right there. But yeah, that's what I thought it was going to be is, preparing. I think that, there's seasons. Back to the question, how do we get through rough times? It's preparation and there's seasons. So you already know, right? You already know that there's going to be seasons of low times, seasons of drought. You're going to have seasons of difficulty, and
Mhm.
so the key for me, the lesson from the ant is preparation in the high times, right? So many times too, it's like, when things are good, I always tell people, you don't understand. If you know farmers, you have sowing season and harvest season. Harvest season is when you actually do all of the work. Everybody thinks that harvest season is when, like, that's when it's flowing. Harvest season is a difficult season because you have to gather. Sowing, you
Mhm.
just are sowing the seeds and then you're sitting on the porch kind of
Correct.
waiting. But a lot of people
Yep.
think sowing season in their lives, that's the difficult season. We have it backwards. We have to be harvesting effectively, That's the ants in the summer. They're harvesting.
Yep.
The bounty is bountiful. The food is bountiful.
Yep.
The abundance is bountiful. So that you have to harvest and prepare. They're not just
Yes.
eating it all. They're not gorging on it. They're preparing because they know that there's another season on the horizon, and so they want to be prepared for that moment. They also understand that when that season comes, winter, and I'm not talking death, but I'm talking
Mhm.
about when that season comes, where it's the drought season comes when things are low.
Mhm.
They also know that
Yep.
that's temporary, and
Yes.
so in that season of drought, they're also getting ready once again for the summer, so that they can, and that's interesting too, because I think the ants they do like the locusts. They don't just send one ant out and be like, bring that watermelon back.
That's
They
right.
gotta go out as a team
That's,
in
that's
order
right.
to reap the harvest together. So lots of great lessons in there today.
Absolutely, man. Well, I would say, listen, next week, because the next scripture we're
Three
going to hit
beasts
it.
and a king.
So we're going to talk about a lion, a rooster, a he goat, and a king. And there's
He
so much
goat.
wisdom into a he goat. Yeah, it's a male goat, but the Bible calls it a he goat. So
Okay,
there you go. But it'll
I
be good.
love it. All right, everybody, you got to get plugged in with Pastor Brian Hall. He's got lots of great opportunities rolling out for you. Jump in on that masterclass,
Mm,
absolutely free. Check it out. That's your gateway. That's your entry point into the world of Brian Hall. Check out all that he has to offer for you. Tell some friends about it too. I mean, don't be like a flying solo. I don't know what animal
that's
does that.
right.
The he goat, because there's the beast. But be like the locusts. Tell your friends. Get the swarm.
That's
Bring them
right.
all to the master class and turn them on to something greater than themselves through the wisdom of Pastor Brian Hall. Brian, enjoy your couple days here
Yes.
of time to recover, to
Mm,
reflect, to fill up your cup. We
yes.
appreciate you always showing up on Tuesday with a full cup for us. We
Yes.
appreciate that. We look
Absolutely.
forward to seeing you Tuesday. For me, off to Greenville, South Carolina later on this week. I'll be seeing our good friend Jack Borla. Then from there,
Nice.
I'm going to go straight off. I was thinking that's kind of weird, but straight off from there to Las Vegas. Lacey and I are going to take a couple days, not sabbatical. We still got work to do, but we're going to
Mm,
Vegas to take a couple days just to rest in between. It was easier than just going Greenville to Florida and Florida to Vegas. Then next week, hey, if you want to get in the room on Thursday, what would that be? I don't know. Next Thursday, our good friend David Meltzer is holding a VIP dinner. Shoot him an email, david@dmeltzer.com. Tell him you heard about the VIP dinner right here from Brian and Sean, and you were wondering if you could get some information. Great people are going to be in that room, including myself and
mm,
Lacey. I think Skip and Julie Weiss are going to be in that room. I see Julie on here.
nice.
And tell David that you would like to know how you can get in that room. Get in the room. I love that.
Get in the room.
Make connections, make your ask, and
Mm,
you will prosper. Be
yeah.
like the ant, be like the coney, be like the locust, be like the spider. I like the spider one.
Boom.
They knock you down, you just come right back.
Right back.
Brian, you know what to do. Tell us who you are.
Uh, I'm Brian Hall, your spiritual coach, always holding you up.
Have a great week, everybody. See you next week.